to share with you today's topic, the art of letting go. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on this subject, but I am here to share with you from my heart my own personal experiences and practices that I hope you may find inspiring and maybe find a few things you can take away and implement in your life in some way. As we look around, I guess we've noticed fall has come to a peak. The weather is changing, and the billions of leaves in all their splendor are bursting forth in magnificent color. And then they let go. They fall back to the ground to rest, decompose, and be recycled once again in the growth of spring. Our lives are like that, you know. There's this ebb and flow and ups and downs. And sometimes we're experiencing a lot of trials and hardships, and that's normal. We look around just from the news this past week. The loss of so many lives. We ask why. We look at the fires raging. We celebrate today those who have given their lives and service our veterans. But as Chris and Marie reminded us through their song, "Don't worry, be happy." We have a choice on how we choose to respond to situations. Now, letting go is not about ignoring or wiping something under the carpet or throwing it away. It's really a process of embracing what's really happening in the moment, to give it its full space and due, and to allow it to be processed. For example, grief. You've probably noticed your energy is kind of moving down a little bit. Things are softening. We're wanting to snuggle up by a fireplace and a blanket. That's what's happening in nature. The sap is going back down to the ground. It's a time to rest and be restored. When we have trials, it's a time to honor them and welcome them and sit with them in a form of a sacred soak and listen to what they have to say, to allow every aspect of them to be honored and processed and recognized and expressed. It's all part of the seasons of our life, of the ebb and flow. But the key is we don't want to stay stuck there. Do we? No. But we still want to honor the grieving process. We're coming up on the holidays, and this is supposed to be one of the most happiest times, and for some of us, it's anniversaries. My father passed on Christmas Eve. Maybe we can't be with family, or there's other reasons that there's some sadness that's holding in our hearts. So I invite you just to hold your heart, just to feel it, to embrace and support ourselves in that process. And do you know that usually if we sit with it and just listen and be there and breathe in and through it and allow it to flow, opening up a bigger space inside ourselves, within 10 to 20 minutes, it will pass. Now, I'm not going to guarantee it's gone forever, because you probably realize it's not one and done. It's a process. we don't want to stop it. We want to be able to trust the process and all it brings and ask ourselves, if this is part of my growth and unfoldment that the universe is presenting, what's the lesson? Maybe I don't know right now, but are we willing to open and to check it out and to release our hold of what we want to see happen, have it our way, and to trust that we don't have to say, okay, sun, you better get up tomorrow morning. Okay, earth, you better be there when I put my feet down on the floor when I get out of bed. There's a supportive system. Call it whatever you want. That's always within us and around us, supporting it. We often refer to it as God, that ultimate reality. And the key is when we can let go of resistance and accept this flow of life, and then rest in the ground of our being, and allow and create space. Things fall away, and something else pops up. And we didn't have to make it happen, it just reveals itself. Letting go is like dropping 2 tons of pressure off your back. And we know as soon as that happens, there's a lightening up. There's a freeing. There's a smile that goes on our face. That's support of what we are. And we're told by saints and sages that we are eternal, and joy is our natural home. Not joy because we won the lottery, but because we exist. It's just the gift of life itself, and to welcome it. There is a book called The Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. She is a Japanese writer. And I want to share with you one of her practices of letting go, which Carol showed with me. Something I'm working on. I don't know about you, but if you saw my closet, I don't know how many times I've cleaned it out and thinned it out, and I think I have like little hidden monkeys that keep cluttering it up and sticking stuff in there, you know. I even had 2 more closets built. Okay. What is all this stuff? Why do I need all this stuff? It's taking up space. There's no room left to welcome a new life. It's okay, so I'm working on that. Okay, I'm working on that. So what Marie says is you go to your closet and you grab a bunch of clothes and you put them on the bed or on the floor. And then you pick one up and you hold it and you say, "Oh, sweater, do you give me joy?" And if the answer is yes, then you say, "Yay, you're going back in the closet." And you pick up the next thing. "Oh, pants, do you give me joy?" And the pants say, "Well, I used to, but you've gained a little weight." And I was happy to serve you for a while, but I don't see a smile on your face. And so I respond, "Thank you, pants, for when you did serve me well. I think I'll release you to someone else who can experience the same joy as me." So you're going in the box to faith or sharing and caring, wherever it's going. such a wonderful spiritual exercise for several reasons. It was light, it was fun, but it was a form of communication and expression of feelings. And that's what art is. It is a holding and a touching of something, maybe even ourselves, and communicating with it and honoring it for whatever role it plays. For whatever role it plays. In the picture of the whole, if we didn't have nighttime and the moon, and all we had was sunny days, oh, the crops would burn up and this planet would dry out, right? So to everything there is a season and a purpose under heaven, as the song goes. So this is what letting go is about. It's about going with this flow, but when we get stuck, it's okay for a little bit of time. So whether you sit with it in a sacred soak, like with meditation, or just allow it and open your heart to give it space. When we heard the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy, in the Taoist tradition, Taoist just means natural way, they have a practice called the inner smile, and it's in all their 8 alchemical formulas for immortality. I just happened to be on Mount Washan and got to witness with one of my teachers, a 13-generation lineage monk, as my teacher, explained to him how he was downloading these 8 formulas for Westerners to understand without losing its real deep significance and effectiveness. So through the translator. So I'm just listening, and his name was Master O, and he went, yes, 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 yes. And this inner smile was in each one of the 8 formulas. So if we think of it like don't worry and be happy, worry holds our brain hostage in fear, that little almond shape, the amygdala, and it keeps us spinning like a tornado. And that's natural. That's natural because the brain's there to protect us. And it's got some kind of pattern it's playing out. But when we smile, just try that for a minute. Well, first do the frown. Do the frown. Now I notice some of you can't frown, you're smiling. See, it's natural. It's our natural state. But it's okay if you need to frown for a while. But in this inner smile, it's about a shape, an energy that holds whatever's happening. The good, we label it the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever that may be. And we make it bigger if there's more stuff. Now in my closet there's going to be lots of bigger spaces other than stuff. But if you look at this shape, it's like a circle, the oneness, unity, holy, wholeness. This is the physical form of the manifestation of spirit. And we're in the center of that. We're an expression of that. And you notice how you felt as soon as you frowned, how the energy went down. So when you're grieving, it serves a purpose. Let that energy process and go down. Don't stay there for too long. When you're ready on your timeline, support it. This is a support of self-remembrance that we're more than our feelings and our experiences. And when we allow that to happen, that joy of our being just shows up. It just shows up. And it's a neutral flow of letting go. Could you imagine for a moment, let's just think, what if we were living a life where there's no judgment, no fear, no expectations, no worry, no hurry, no shoulda. We shoulda on ourselves a lot, don't we, sometimes? That's okay, smile to that. Smile's like a bowl, it can be transformed. You see, you can feel that energy shifting. Wouldn't it be wonderful? We have a choice to move through the heavier times, just like the seasons. Letting go and pausing and falling back down to the ground to allow things to settle is such an important aspect of our lives because it's a balance. We're so busy. And that's okay, there's lots of things to do that we need to be responsible for. But like Garnet mentioned this morning, we can, anytime we want, take a break. Someone refers to meditation as the holy sit. Just sit and be still, take a few breaths. Just to stop this patterning and this reaction that we're unconsciously being driven by all the time in our subconscious. So you all already know that, right? That let's take a moment just to make better friends with ourselves and be more compassionate and kind, but also come from a point of wisdom and understanding on how this instrument really works. Okay? The brain is an organ and it's there to protect us. The body is a house or like a temple that stores our spirit. It carries us through. We operate through this brain and nervous system. It's there to protect us at all costs. But it's usually on automatic pilot from deeper patterns from our upbringing, our culture, everything we've seen, everything we've been told. We're programmed, guys. That program covers what we really are. And then we forget. This is the big picture. It's not really a secret. But if we can step back and look at it and go, oh, I got it, okay. I just got caught up in something, or I swore I was never going to be like my mom. She did the best she could too, with her knowledge and the skills that she had. It's an evolutionary process of awakening to our full potential. This is where the kindness and the compassion comes in. For all of us. We're all in process. And the great news is we're all waking up quicker than ever. Okay, unless you want to go back 200 years. See? Big changes. Big changes. And just by a smile, you can shift it. It's so important that we become more conscious of what's happening by sitting and letting be whatever is happening to allow it to process out naturally. It will rebalance. It will come back into harmony because that's how life is designed. But if we stay stuck in our old patterns and we're unconscious, we're like programmed robots. Again, no judgment. We're in process. It's not good, it's not bad, we're in process. Good and bad puts us in separation. And we know, in truth, there's only oneness. See, I always have to remind myself. And bring all those parts of me back together. The other important thing that we need to know to be kind and embrace ourselves and become befriend ourselves truly and deeply, is another thing about the organ of the brain is it only recognizes you. That means if something happens out here, somebody says something or does something, and you have a reaction, oh my gosh, how could they possibly, what were they thinking? Here we go, down the merry path. Pause, push the pause button, mine's here. Push the pause button. That's why my nose, if you've ever noticed, it's kind of flat, because I keep trying to remind myself, wait a minute, no robot programs, what can we do here? Because our own bodies experience it. If we're angry, if we're frustrated, if we're happy, we can scream and cuss at this other person and get up on our soapboxes and do everything we want. Now, I'm not saying it's not important to hold boundaries and have clear, honest, direct communication. That's a skill that we all need. Talking about when we get carried away with the emotion and the feeling and what's happening, it's usually judgment of some kind. Okay, we want to let it go. They have a right to their opinion and to do what they want. We can remove ourselves. The goal is to keep our peace, to keep our center that is so strong and so neutral and so just compassionately compassionate. That means we can have feelings without being pulled in another direction. And that comes with our own spiritual practices, whatever those are that you choose to do. A walk in nature, fully present, the labyrinth, your prayer, your meditation, your service to others, your acts of kindness, whatever they may be. We can do it, and we're all doing it together, which is what Wayfarers Unity really provides. Everyone here is that home to feel safe and comfortable, to be able to be ourselves, to express what our needs are, not to have to hide them out of some guilt or shame. We all have those aspects of ourselves. They're kind of like roles we play or masks. They're really from the past. We're here to wake up and open space for a greater sense of fulfillment of what we really are. And it should be fun. Not all the time. There is a time to rest and weep and let go. But when we give it that time, the life in this space shows up. Of our true selves, of happiness and clarity and freedom and joy of just being. So what I'd like to do is invite you into a practice of letting go. If you'd like, you can just watch as I demonstrate, or you can participate. And we're going to make this kind of light, but it does involve some body movements, but you're going to sit in the chair. And we aren't videoing this, so don't worry, people aren't going to see anything that you do. You know, that it's one of the things about letting go. Of all the clients I've seen over the last 30 years, I would always ask them, what's the one thing that you've learned? So I've worked with cardiac patients and AIDS patients and heart patients and PTSD and mental health, and everyone says the same thing. I learned to let go. But to let go, we have to let go into something, right? If we're on top of a building on the 4th floor and it's on fire and the fireman's down there, we're okay to jump when we see all these handsome 30 firemen in this big yellow, big pillow thing and one comes up to the top and says, come on, I'll show you how to do it. You want to hold my hand? We'll go together. So we have to feel safe. And as we nurture our spiritual ground of our being, is that being real, that can be very helpful. But also to make friends with our bodies. and our energy and our emotions. So here's just a little exercise that we can do together very simply. So select something. It can be an object, something in your closet you need to let go of, or it could even be a feeling, like maybe you've felt a lot of grief lately for whatever reason. So we're not going to get real serious about it. We're just going to look at that very gently. And so everybody pause for a moment and pick something. It could even be maybe an argument you had with someone you want to let go of, or some devaluing thought about yourself. Just pick something. And then place your hands together as if you're holding that thing or that thought or that feeling that you're focusing on between your hands. In a relaxed way that's comfortable for you. And at this moment, just be willing to let go and open space and allow life to carry us to a new place that can lead to a deeper, more true rendition of ourselves. So as you hold whatever your focus is between your hands, breathe in and out through your heart center and smile. And let this smiling energy, this unconditional support for yourself, flow down your arms and into your hands and between them. Breathing in and breathing out again. Holding that divine light, love, and presence between your hands. Just be there for a moment. Offer space, just allow. Then with one hand, reach into the other and grab that up. Grab that up with one hand. And hold it tight in your fist. Make a fist. And lift your arm up and tighten your whole arm and your fist. Tighten, 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 tighten. Now, slowly exhale and open your fingers. And let it go. And drop your arm. Hold your hands together again and breathe and rest and notice. And perhaps there's a little bit left over that's willing to be loosened and released. We just invite that space as we are willing to open ourselves to this process and grab with your other hand and scoop up some more. Hold it tightly in your fist, raise it up. As you tighten and tense your entire hand and arm, tight, 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 and exhale, and slowly open the fingers. Release it. Let it go. And drop the other arm and hand. Let your hands rest wherever they're most comfortable. And breathe and notice. And bring your attention now to your abdomen, to your belly, or what we refer to as our core in our bodies. And if you'd like, you can place your hands here, maybe even one behind you, to feel the three-dimensional space of your body and embrace, hold, and hug yourself. Grateful for this body instrument, and smile. Welcome the breath in through your nose, all the way down your lungs, as if the diaphragm pushes into your abdomen and you notice that the belly balloons out and then flattens with each in-breath and out-breath. Just welcome the expansion of your inhalation into the body, there in your belly like a balloon. And then the letting go as you breathe out, as it flattens. Feel this sensation within you. It is real. It is a place to feel safe, to feel grounded. And smile. Now bring your attention and your breath up to your heart center. In the lotus of the heart dwells Brahman, or the ultimate reality we refer to as God. Smile to that presence, the kingdom within. And see and feel the presence smiling back at you. Breathe in and out through your heart center. With all of the gratitude, compassion, and total acceptance of ourselves wherever we are in our unfoldment process, with joy and thanksgiving for this gift of life. Now bring your attention up a little higher. The area of the forehead, approximately the space between the eyebrows, the prefrontal lobe of the brain, where we become the observer, where we engage in our executive functions of change and creativity, our higher states of consciousness and awareness. And just be here. Smiling, watching for a moment. And let us remember that we are not our feelings, our thoughts, or our body. They are experiences that we have that can lead us back to remembering what we are when we let them go. The light of our true selves, that radiant presence reveals itself. And we welcome it into every cell of our being. And smile. And before concluding this practice, let us also look into the hearts of other people everywhere, to every situation, and look through the appearances of the act and the play of forgetfulness, and see too that divine radiant light of pure being, free and joyful. And smile to receive. Let's chant Om one time.